Live from the Big Beefy Man Cave in New Bedford, Massachusetts. This is the YouTube channel vlog show in which video games, flash game show gameplays, along with sports and wrestling news are the norm. This is the YouTube channel vlog show of positivity, good times, and fun. This is Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. And now, here is the host of the show, the perpetrator of these shenanigans, Big Beefy E himself, Mr. Eric M. Lima. Thank you very much, Mr. Announcer, for that lovely intro. Hello, once again, everyone. This is my Big Beefy Man Cave. And I am Big Beefy E, Eric Lima, hosting this Big Beefy show, known as Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. This is episode number 37 of the show, September the 24th, 2022, 4:31 p.m. What's going on, everybody? Hope everyone is having a wonderful, wonderful afternoon. Saturday afternoon, that's right, last full week of September. And now we're going into, because next Saturday is October already. Could you believe that time is flying by, man? I tell you what, we had a lot of fun here, let me tell you. Time flies when you're having fun. Well, this will be my final, well, not my final video. I just started this whole thing. Come on now. Calm down, people. My final wrestling event center for the week in Victory Road. Impact Victory Road happened last night. Also, a lot of things have happened. A lot of wrestling has happened last night. Let me tell you something. I ended up watching Victory Road as well. It's like, how'd you watch Victory Road with SmackDown and everything else going on? You're trying to live stream with your friends and all that. Now, wrestling site decided, a wrestling streaming site decided to give me a chance to watch it. So there were two matches in the countdown to Victory Road. The Bullet Club team, six-man tag team action. Chris Bay, Ace Austin, and the newest member, Juice Robinson, who was also the husband of AEW Interim Women's Champion Toni Storm, to take on Team Gut Check. That would be Jason Hatch, Jack Price, who the two of them has won the 2022 Gut Check at the Arnold Invitational, while Shogun has won his in 2020. And even though Team Gut Check gave Bullet Club a fight, Bullet Club did end up picking up the victory. And Gia Miller interviewed Heath, Rich Swann, Josh Alexander, George Costanza in Impact Wrestling. I don't know, Jerry, about this. They say to me, people are speaking for another Canadian guy, whose last name is Alexander, Jerry, and I don't know what's going to happen here. I'll tell you what, it's out of control, Jerry, I don't know. Let's try this again. Jim Miller interviewed Heath, Rich Swann, and Josh Alexander for their match against Honor No More's Eddie Edwards and the OGK. That will be the Impact Tag Team Champions, Matt Taven and Mike Bennett. How they're going to try to handle business against Honor No More. And then the second matchup, Killer Kelly versus Tasha Steelz. And Tasha Steelz kept on playing mind games to Killer Kelly. It got to the point where Killer Kelly started getting a little upset. Tasha Steelz brings some kind of necklace chain in the ring. And then she grabbed the chain necklace right in front of the referee, chokes Tasha Steelz with it to the point where referee's trying to let go, just ring the bell, DQ. I was like, who wasn't ringing the bell? It was a botch there. And then Killer Kelly snapped and went after the referee. Some of the referees, including agents Tommy Dreamer and Lance Storm, came out to try to stop Killer Kelly. So Tasha Steelz wins this one by disqualification. All right, now to the main card of the Impact Victory Road. The X Division title was on the line. Speedball Mike Bailey defended against Ring of Honor legend Delirious. And Delirious is like a little upside the head, but he's a Ring of Honor legend. Talks a lot of nonsense, but despite all that, Speedball Mike Bailey did pick up the victory over Delirious, and that's his 9th title defense. The record for the most successful title defenses is 13 with Christopher Daniels as X Division champion. Mike Bailey is well on his way there if he keeps going. So he's got to wait the winner of the triple threat Revolver, which I'm going to have to explain this matchup to you guys. I mean, I didn't, because I was like, I didn't know how it worked. I was like, I thought everybody was running. But Revolver, I get the idea. So Honor No More got a promo for Bound for Glory, and they were questioning once again PCO. I think PCO. The problem is Honor No More does not know how to handle a guy like PCO. Seems like Vincent, who knows about the macabre and the horror stuff, is getting into PCO's head, and that probably was helping him. But the Motor City Machine Guns took them on in a tag team matchup, and the Motor City Machine Guns did win the matchup. Mickie James went one-on-one with Giselle Shaw, the quintessential diva. And Mickie James, well, kept right on going, because you know the stipulation. She loses a match, she's retiring. Now the Triple Threat Revolver. It started off with Mia Yim, Laredo Kid, and Trey Miguel. Now here's how this works. Starts off with those three in a triple threat match. If any one of those three gets pinned, another competitor enters the fray. It's almost like a Royal Rumble Survivor Series type, until there were three people left, and this when one fall to a finish. That type of deal. So the order of elimination goes like this. Laredo Kid was the first one to get eliminated. Alex Zane was next. Then Mia Yim was third. All right, this started out Mia Yim, Laredo Kid, and Trey Miguel. Laredo Kid got pinned by Mia Yim first, and then comes in Alex Zane. Alex Zane gets pinned by Mia Yim, then it goes Kenny King. Kenny King pins Mia Yim. Here comes Yuya Uemura. He was the sixth guy to enter the ring, but he gets pinned. So because down, and then Frankie Kazarian and Black Taurus has entered there. Now it's bound down between Kazarian, Taurus, and Kenny King. And Kazarian, returning to Impact Wrestling, picks up the victory and will face Speedball Mike Bailey. As Speedball Mike Bailey goes for his 10th defense of the X Division title against Frankie Kazarian, a former X Division champion. That's going to be an interesting match. Speedball Mike Bailey will be put to the test. I guarantee you that. Then Taya Valkyrie, Rosemary, and Jessica decided to talk to Gail Kim about a title rematch. So, Gail Kim says, you know what, you guys got it. Bound for Glory. And then VXT, that'll be the Knockouts tag team champs of Chelsea Green and Deonna Purrazzo, saying losers and all that. Jessica got upset, pushes them down. And then Gail Kim just looks at Jessica, Taya, and Rosemary, says, you guys are ready. And then they try to convince Rosemary that they're ready. Rosemary goes, I kind of like that. So then, in a shocking move, now people talk about where's Bobby Fish going to end up. People on Twitter are talking about Bobby Fish wanting Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly to come back with him to the WWE. They said we can't, even though we want to, but we can't. And then Bobby Fish decided, well, I'm not going back to the WWE without these guys. I'm going to Impact Wrestling, and he ended up showing up in Impact Wrestling. Raj Singh and Sierra interrupt Fish, starts telling him off. And then they tried to attack Bobby Fish, but Bobby Fish did fence him off, and he put Raj Singh in the fish hook submission hold, and Sierra bailed him out of it. Six-man tag team matchup, Josh Alexander, Rich Swann, and Heath went up against Eddie Edwards and OGK, the Impact Tag Team Champions, Matt Taven and Mike Bennett. Honor No More ended up winning the matchup. And then Mickie James, after her matchup and Mia Yim's matchup, she plopped down on the couch next to Mia Yim. They were talking about how well I respect Mia Yim. He says, how about this? You and me at Bound for Glory. Okay. So that match is going to be happening at Bound for Glory. So then the Pick and Poison matchup, Jordan Grace against Max the Impaler. This was a fight. I mean, Jordan Grace has not been challenged more than Max the Impaler has challenged Jordan Grace. And Jordan Grace even managed to pick up Max the Impaler for the Grace Driver, pins Jordan Grace in the middle of the ring, and Jordan Grace wins the matchup. Then she takes the microphone and says, you know what? Monster, that's a tough match for you. I'll give you credit. But I got somebody, a friend of mine, she says, that knows that can beat Monster Slamovich. But he said in one condition, though, that it'll be a Monsters Ball match. So, who she chose to as Monster Slamovich's poison for next week on Impact? None other than Allie Katch, who has been making waves all over the country in the indies. Now Allie Katch is coming to Impact to challenge Monster Slamovich in a pick your poison matchup. Monsters Ball rules. That means anything goes in that matchup. It's crazy. And then The main event, the Barbed Wire Massacre, Moose versus Steve Macklin versus Sami Callihan. This match had all types of crazy that went on. It got to the point where Sami Callihan dug into his bag, and he had a black bag, and he had a barbed wire wrapped. A barbed wire was wrapped around a Nintendo 64 controller. I am not kidding you. That was the craziest. I'm like, wait, barbed wire covered Nintendo 64 controller covered in barbed wire. Even Tom Hennifan's like, what? A Nintendo 64 wrapped in barbed wire? You gotta be kidding me. And Matthew Raywall made a GoldenEye reference already. I'm like, oh god. We know the Nintendo 64. We knew a GoldenEye reference was going to come out and play, and Matt Raywall did it. And but despite that, and despite all the craziness barbed wire, I mean, a barbed wire wrapped up, a Nintendo 64 controller wrapped up in barbed wire is the craziest thing I have ever heard. Like unheard of, man. Let me tell you, it was insane, folks. Trust me on this one. But in the end, Steve Macklin did pick up the victory, so that's a huge matchup huge victory in the main event in the main event for Steve Macklin. So that's going to boost Macklin up a little bit, I assume, in the title picture. And if I were Eddie Edwards or Josh Alexander, I'd be watching their back because here comes Steve Macklin, man. So yeah, that was if anything crazy happened. And that was the craziest part right there. I'm like, the craziest section right there. I'm like, what? I was like, a Nintendo. I was kind of looking, what the heck is he had in his hand? I'm like, that's a Nintendo 64 controller wrapped in barbed wire. The guy's a nutcase. Praise the Lord. So, anyway, so that's it. That's all the time I have here on this show, on this episode, at least for today. I got one more episode. This is my 4th video in one day today. I'm telling you, I'm doing video number 5, and I'm going to try to get going with this for Saturday Superstar Arcade. So I'll see what I can figure out on that. So I'll see you guys later. You guys have a wonderful day, and Mr. Announcer, take us home. That is all for today's episode. This is Mr. Lima speaking for Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. A Big Beefy E, tour for Bob Saget production, and in association with a Sweet Bumbling Bofa Raver Telepictures and Distribution. See you next episode, and have a very blessed day.